This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. Today, we're looking at the critical strategic choices that will define the future of Nepal's capital. Let's do a quick thought experiment. Picture Kathmandu in the year 2040. What do you see? Is it a cautionary tale of urban decay, just choked by traffic and pollution? Or is it a testament to smart strategic foresight, a modern, thriving, and genuinely livable city? Now, this isn't just some hypothetical question. This is the central choice facing the city's leaders right now.
Because here's the thing, Kathmandu's future isn't going to be decided by luck or by chance. It's going to be the direct result of very specific economic, regulatory, and data-driven decisions that are being made today. So let's cut through the buzzwords and really analyze the foundational pillars that will determine which future the city gets.
First up, we've got to talk about the idea of a smart city. Now, it's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but its common application in Kathmandu is, well, dangerously skin deep. It's focusing almost entirely on the visible hardware. We see this focus on things like CCTV cameras, smart streetlights, and digital payment systems. Look, these are components of a smart city, for sure, but they're really just the gadgets, the user interface. A city doesn't get smart just by buying more stuff. It gets smart by using data to make intelligent, predictive decisions. And that's where the real problem is. So, the heart of the issue is this. Kathmandu's most critical data is completely fragmented. The Nepal Electricity Authority has its power data. The water utility, KUTL, has its pipeline data. The Department of Transport Management has its vehicle data. Each one of these is its own little kingdom, hoarding its data with no central nervous system connecting them all. And this slide really nails the difference. With silo data, what do you get? You get expensive cameras that do a great job of watching a traffic jam happen. But with integrated data, you get a smart system that can actually prevent that traffic jam from ever forming in the first place. See the difference? It's reactive observation versus proactive management. So, what's the strategic solution? It's creating a central urban data repository. Think of it as a single digital twin of the city. This platform would act as the city's brain. And let's be clear, this isn't a technology problem. This is a governance revolution. It means forcing all these agencies to share data on one standardized platform. Without that, we're just buying expensive decorations for a broken system. All right, let's move on to our next pillar. A smart city also has to be a sustainable city. And that means we have to rethink the very materials we use to build it. The huge challenge here is something called embodied carbon. Embodied carbon is basically the total carbon footprint of a material, from digging it out of the ground, to manufacturing it, to shipping it, to putting it up. Just slapping a solar panel on a standard concrete building completely misses this massive, hidden environmental cost baked into the building itself. And in Nepal, the construction industry pretty much runs on what you could call the cement rebar duopoly. This over-reliance has some huge consequences. It's incredibly carbon-intensive. It's a massive drain on foreign currency reserves to import materials, and it makes the entire housing sector really vulnerable to supply chain shocks. So how do you fix this? The answer isn't just about finding new materials. It's about changing the rules of the game. Right now, Nepal's building code is mostly prescriptive. It tells you what materials you have to use. The strategic shift is to move to a performance-based code. This kind of code doesn't care what you build with. It only specifies how the building must perform in terms of safety and efficiency. It lets innovation fly. This shift in the rules is the key to unlocking innovation. But innovation and big public works, they require investment. And that brings us to our final pillar. How on earth do you pay for a more livable, walkable, and modern city? You often hear the excuse that there's just no money for public works. But honestly, that's a failure of financial imagination, not a reflection of reality. The solution lies in a really powerful tool called value capture financing. The idea is simple. Public investment creates private wealth. VCF is designed to capture a tiny piece of that new wealth to pay for the project that created it. Let's just walk through this cycle, because it's pretty brilliant. Step 1. The city invests in, say, a new metro line. Step 2, as a result, the value of all the private property near the new stations skyrockets. Step 3, the city then captures a small fraction of that new value through a special levy. And Step 4, those captured funds are used to pay back the bonds that finance the metro in the first place. It becomes a self-funding engine for urban development. This model could fund anything from a modern bus system to turning historic city centers into pedestrian-only zones. So when we bring these three pillars together,
the integrated data, the sustainable materials, and the smart financing, we end up right back where we started. Kathmandu is at a crossroads.
There are two very clear paths forward. The first is the path of least resistance. It means continuing with disconnected tech, cosmetic sustainability, and chronic underfunding. That path leads to a 2040 defined by congestion and dysfunction. But the integrated path, that's built on the deep foundational reforms we've been talking about, and it leads to a walkable, green, and competitive city that actually attracts talent and investment.
So, the real takeaway from all of this is a hard truth. The greatest obstacle to future-proofing Kathmandu isn't a lack of technology or capital or even vision. It's a deficit of institutional courage. The political will to actually break those data silos, to challenge powerful industry lobbies, and to overhaul outdated laws. That, right there, is the real choice that will define the city's future.